Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video here today. We're going to kick this video off by first and foremost saying happy birthday to Michael Schumacher, who turns 50 today. The legend of Formula 1, to many, the greatest of all time, the GOAT of Formula 1. Obviously, the man with the most world championships in Formula 1. 7 world titles. He turns 50 today, and I also want to say keep fighting, Michael. Obviously, we all hope that Michael can continue to make progress on his road to recovery, and he's a tough cookie mentally and physically, and I know he's going to keep on fighting in what is the longest race of his life and the most important one. And to celebrate his 50th birthday, the man, the myth, the legend, I thought we'd do a nice little race in his 2004 Ferrari, because in previous F1 games, we haven't actually had a chance to drive many of his classic cars. Obviously, on this year's game, though, they brought a lot of new additions, and the 2004 Ferrari was only something we actually could drive in other racing games like Assetto Corsa and whatnot, but now we can actually do it in the official Formula 1 game. I actually recently swapped the engine out of this car into a Williams 2018 car, and we witnessed the power and acceleration of this monster in the Williams, and we had a very fun race around Italy. So if you did miss that video, by the way, then be sure to go check that one out. Annotation in the top right. But today we'll be driving the real thing, the actual car, and we're just gonna, well, have some fun, really. And in terms of what track we should do, I feel like we should do it at one of the tracks that was around back in the day, not a new one that this car never saw the light of day of. We've done Italy a lot in the recent kind of experiment videos we've done with the classic car engines and whatnot, and I feel like Spa is also kind of one that we always usually do when it comes to these sort of things. So I'm gonna go for Japan, obviously another classic circuit where we saw so many great races in the previous eras of Formula 1. So we're gonna go for the Suzuka Grand Prix, a 5-lap race, just a simple little video, but you know, driving this thing, obviously I've driven the engine but not the actual car ever on this game, so just a nice little tribute video I felt today. I thought quite fitting on his 50th birthday. We've got a full mixed class grid here, so the results will be kind of broken up a little bit and segmented, because obviously some cars are faster than others, but nonetheless, we're starting last place, and we'll just see basically how far we can get and up the order in 5 laps around Suzuka. Setup's just going to be default. Let's just get into it then and see how this thing handles. The power's going to be horrific to really handle. I don't know about the downforce, so let's just see how it goes. We go to 5 red lights. This 5-lap race around Suzuka in the F1 2004, or F2004 rather, I should say, and a lot of dose of power there. A bit slow off the line. We're P8 out of 8 of our class, and then we've got some slower classes behind, actually. So I was last place in my class, not last place on the actual grid, as we find our way around the outside. They're using all the track limits. I mean, back in the olden days, they didn't really care too much for the curbs. They used to ride them all. Try and feed the power through. This thing definitely is a little bit jolty compared to what I'm used to around Suzuka. But can we get the power down? Yes, we can. Down the inside of the Williams. Of course, all these guys are very random names, which I probably won't be able to pronounce, to be honest. But nevertheless, a car is a car, and we will go overtaking, and we're closing up now. Can we make a dive down the inside? It's a big lock up there. I've hit neutral as well, as I'm trying to scramble for more gears. Need to get used to also driving with 7 gears, and also using first gear, which is not a gear we use anymore really in modern F1. But first gear very much is a very useful gear in these cars as we go through Spoon. I'm actually surprised at how much grip there is. You know, I thought it would be feeling more like a boat, but no. It's got a lot of grip, it's got a lot of power, obviously, as we now close up 130. We're already gaining quite a fair bit, I can tell, on the Renault, I think that is, the 06 one. As we catch up through 130, oh, foot to the floor, oh, little bit of a tap. Love tap on the gearbox, and a big old tap from the Renault. Of course, it would be Alonso's car that we have a little bit of a collision in. Obviously, Alonso and Schumacher, bitter rivals back in the day. Alonso with a nice tribute earlier. A lot of F1 drivers with nice tributes today for his 50th birthday. So it was meant to be that the Renault gave us a little tap into the chicane and defended quite successfully into that corner. So can we get past him? Gonna have to size up this move, I think, because it does have more downforce than us, so it'll have a bit more grip, but then on the straights I should be able to muller him. So just need to set up a good bit of traction, and also if he gets held up here behind this car, I can't tell which car this is. It looks like one of the McLaren's, I want to say, but I can't quite tell. But let's just enjoy the engine a little bit as well. Of course, you guys heard the engine in the experiment video I did, but let's hear it again in the actual car it was with. Lovely stuff. Lovely. Nice to hear that these engines whine once again. Always. I definitely underrate having the classic cars in the F1 game. I don't drive them a lot. But when you do, they are a decent amount of fun. You know, it's debatable how long they're fun for, but they are a lot of fun. And it wasn't a McLaren, I was mistaken. It was the BMW. White and blue apparently looks grey to my eyes. And so that was the BMW. We passed him up into P6 in our class. We're actually going a little bit slow, to be honest. It's been a slow start for me. I don't think we're actually going to win this race. Oh, trying to cook it as much as I could into turn 1 there. Right, let's try and get this sector nailed a bit. I haven't got it nailed so far. It's a little bit harder to roll the car through and let the engine do the braking. But staying in 4th gear the entire time. Maybe change down to 3rd a little bit. I was tempted there just to get the power down a little bit earlier. Oh, a lot of understeer. Right, I feel like we need to bump this up. Rich mix. Haven't used that actually in this entire race so far. I think we can actually catch this McLaren in straight line. You can see the V8 power, no match. We are rapidly catching up to this McLaren there. Obviously, technically would be Hamilton's McLaren, but it's instead Tremblay, and we're going to make him tremble down this straight into 130i. Excuse the horrendous pun I just made. Here we go. 7th gear climb. Oh, it's a it's a no match competition there. Eat the Ferrari dust. Eat the V10 dust even. Good mechanical grip. Obviously also helps that you have traction. Right, I'm just speeding up now. It's lap 4, second last lap. I'm just about getting the hang of this car, I feel. Or I say that, I'm probably going to go wide here and lose some time in sector 1. But if we got a better start, we definitely could have had a better chance of getting a podium here. P4 might be on the cards. I'm looking at the mini-map. Maybe P3 if those cars hold each other up and fight enough. Yeah, definitely 3rd gear was the one up the hill. Just to kick in the nose a little bit. And stop the car powering a bit too much. Here we go, closing up now. Closing up to Murray. What are you doing outside the commentary box, my man? It's just too nice on acceleration. It just really is. Here we go, boys. Catching up against Spoon, and the run to 130R is my new best friend here in this car, it seems. This really is where all the time is being found as we plant the power. I'm going to watch my fuel. We're still good. This engine's not as thirsty as I thought it would be around here. Here we go, though. Oh, this is going to be very close. I'm not going to be able to make the move right yet. I'm going to have to lift off a little bit. Close up, though. Going to go for the move to the inside. Make it. Oh, he's locked up. He's locked up and pushed me off. AI getting classic AI car, classic car AI. Very aggressive, actually. You could do with these AI in normal 2018 cars, to be honest. Here we go. Going to stick to the racing line. He'll be on the outside. We'll send in the dummy down the inside. Here we go. Just about squeezed through there. Just about. Whisker. And we're up into P4. Can we get P3? Come on, the podium in this class. Oh, I think the top 3 are fighting. The top 3 are fighting. And there's a slow car. We're lapping someone. Lapping a Lotus, I think that is. Right, these lap cars might help us a little bit. We're finding some traffic. This is really quite... Oh, this is exciting. Here we go. No, oh no, the McLaren. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh, that was so close. We nearly had Forrest there. I think that's him up in P3. Come on. Keep gaining. I believe. Do we go for the big dive? We're going to have to go for it, I think. We're going to have to send one to the outside. Maybe he's going to pinch me. He's going to have the aero around the outside. Plant the power across the curbing. Oh, no, he's got me on the line. No, we can't get P3. It's so close. One more lap, I would have had this guy. We get P4, but that was a very fun experience around Japan. This car is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. The power is good. The downforce is a little annoying sometimes when you turn in, but really you compensate for it very nicely with the traction. It just picks it up. The mechanical grip on these cars is so crazy sometimes. But the Brawn GP car wins it, surprise, surprise, with a double diffuser around Suzuka there. But that has been a short but sweet video. Just a small little tribute to Michael Schumacher on his 50th birthday and wishing him well and hoping he can continue on his recovery journey, of course. And I think a lot of people in this community will share that sentiment. Of course, a lot of the F1 drivers have posted tributes today. F1 even did a little I think they did the podcast with Ross Brawn, I think it was, and then they posted a different video asking various legends of the sport what Schumacher meant to them, or describing Schumacher in a word and whatnot. You had like Alonso saying talent. You had, I think, John Lazy saying perfection, I think it was, in the end. I actually did not get the pleasure of watching Schumacher in his heyday. I watched him when he came back into Formula 1, but I was never watching Formula 1 when, well, not actively watching Formula 1 when he was dominating back in the Ferrari days. Obviously, you read it, you hear it in the news. My dad was telling me about it because my dad was way more to Formula 1 back then than he is now, and vice versa, we switched. But still, and obviously the thing that I remember really mostly is that pole lap at Monaco that got disallowed in the end, but that pole lap showing that he still had the stuff even in the Mercedes era. So yeah, guys, that's been the video. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, do go subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I'm just going to finish off this video by simply saying, keep fighting Michael.